Okay, now little eruption from Eddie Van Halen. The most important part of this really is muting out all the other strings. For me, anyway, this is my take on it. So I use my thumb. We're going to be picking everything on the 3rd string for today. And we're going to do the first finger tapping riff in the song Eruption, all right? So on the 3rd string here, I'm going to put my thumb on this side of the 3rd string so it's muting it out. And I'm going to put my middle finger over here and mute out the strings on this side of it. So as I'm pushing and tapping is really literally, see, if I don't do anything and just tap, well, right, it makes a note. So this is the whole technique of what we call as tapping is actually a couple techniques strung together liquidly or fluidly, you know, seamlessly. So notice I'm set up here for my muting, and then I even take my thumb over here and I roll back on the strings there. I let my fingers here fall down on those strings. I literally mute out the whole guitar. And right now only one string is making noise. If I didn't have this mute going on, it would be a calamity of notes and just sound like crap, really. Okay, so now what we're doing is making an A minor chord. This is an A note. This is the flatted 3rd, which is a C note, and this is an E note. So the first one's a tap, and then a pull off, which is not a lift off. A lift off would just be like, right? But then we're not providing any energy to the string. So you want to tap, providing energy, and then the pull off is literally I kind of use the tip of my finger to kind of rake the string. I actually grab my meat, and that's why it's called a pull off. You're using the finger to kind of pull the string. Okay, watch now. So there's the first 2 notes. Tapping this one, and when I'm pulling it off, it's providing the energy to fret that note, to sound that note. So now, after I do that, the last move is I'm just going to hammer on. And to hammer on, I'm not picking again. I'm literally hammering using the strength of my hand, or wrist, or arm, or however you are when you're doing it. My fingers, if you're strong enough, you can do it with the pinky. Sometimes, if my hand's getting weak, if I'm playing a lot that day, I'll start using my 3rd finger by, instead of stretching. Now, normally you don't want to reach. You know, the difference, reaching is like this. I'm sorry, stretching is like this. And then reaching is when you turn your hand and then you reach for the frets like this. 2 different ways to approach things. Sometimes you want to stretch, and that helps us avoid adjacent strings. And sometimes you want to reach when you don't care about bumping adjacent strings. Point in case right now, I don't care about bumping adjacent strings. So I'm just going to hold my hand this way. Yes, I'm laying it across the other strings. I don't care because it just helps me mute it out even more. And then that lets me get more energy to that last note there, right? And all I did there to change the sound is I went from my 9th fret over here on my hammer hand, or tapping hand. I just slid it back, and now I don't just move my finger. When I get a spot that works, like when my hand and arm develop a position that works, I keep that consistent, and I just move that whole thing very, very much holding that form. You know, you'll see what I mean as you toy around. There's different angles, and I find the right angle. And when I find that right angle, I stick to it like glue. Then he moves, stays on the 10 here, but then he moved this up a whole step or 2 half steps. Now I'm on frets 4 and 7, and then you do. Now this is a little tricky. The first one, by the way, he's doing this 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then he moves it to the 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm not sure if it was 7, and then went up there. Hang on. I think I'm correct on this one. If I'm not, I will put it in the description below. I'm sorry. I think it's. I think he pulls it up and. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 7 on the first one, and then all the other ones you're thinking about even measures of 4. So out of 4 beats, you know, he's in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. As far as how many times he's doing it there, watch. 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Saw that? I moved that last one 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there you got the first part of the tapping section for eruption. This is for anybody that is just starting out tapping. I'm going to do a little series, maybe be about 10 parts by the time it's done, on how to finger tap. I figure we'll take the best and the hardest song there possibly is to start with, and then just break it down in the simplest form and build up. This way, by the time we learn it, you will have no problem tapping anything ever again. Thanks. Like, subscribe. I appreciate. Drop some comments down below, even constructive criticism. And if you say something too nasty, I'll just erase it anyway. All right, thanks. Peace.